Mr. Peters, I'm guessing you have something to say.
Well, some of that, it's hard to respond to some of that. It's clear that, Mr. Raczkowski, I did read the bill, and I know you're still working on it, and there are a lot of bills in Congress, so if you're still working on that bill, you're going to have some real challenges if you ever get there. And go all the other places. It is important. This is an issue of critical importance for the people here in Oakland County. As I was going through and working on that bill, we had forums all across this district. I met with physicians, we met with patients, we met with advocates, we had numerous roundtables talking about the various aspects of that bill. A lot of research went into that to make sure we were getting that input. While we were actually in the vote process, and there was a lot of phone calls into the office, and I will tell you that actually it was a little more than half of the people who called our office was in favor of the legislation. So that's how we look at it. There were strong feelings on both sides. Now, I will say we got a lot of calls that were opposed, but those were people from Iowa, they were from Vermont, they were from California. Our phone lines got jammed from people who don't even live in Michigan. It was very clear that it was orchestrated against it. But all I care about, as a member of Congress from the 9th District, is the opinion of people in the 9th District. That is who I work for. That is who I serve.
Because this is such a hot button topic, we're going to stay on it for a little longer. Mr. Raczkowski would like to say something, but before we get to that, it would be very nice if everyone in this audience, I'm fine with clapping, but hissing and nasty comments, it's not okay, and it cheapens the forum. We're all civilized here. Mr. Raczkowski, continue. Yes, Mr. Dr. Kobe, would you like to weigh in as well?
Yes.
Can I? Okay.
I think on our previous debates, we had a forum where it was civilized in the sense that we, the candidates, agreed that there will be no clap or only comment during the course of the debate, that they could reserve it after.
Dr. Kofi, people are allowed to clap. That's their right. We just have to keep it moving along, and we've got to keep the hissing and the nasty comments out of it. It doesn't help anyone's cause. So thank you for your input. Mr. Raczkowski, please continue.
Thank you very much. Gary, or Congressman Peters, this bill will ration health care. It will ration health care. If you've read it, then why did you vote for a bill that prevents women between the ages of 40 and 49 from getting mammogram exams? Why would you vote for something? Why would you vote for a bill that cut $550 billion out of Medicare? Why would you vote for something like this? Why would you vote for something that continues to take away our rights? Why didn't you just improve Medicaid? Why didn't you improve Medicare and find the funding for it within the budget that we currently have? That's what fiscal responsibility is, and I wish we had more than enough time before this election was over to FOIA your office and find out how many people were actually from Oakland County that said they wanted to support this bill or not. Because the Oakland Press, the Free Press, the Detroit News all showed polls of Oakland County of individuals across the board, the gamut, that were against this bill. And if you're so proud of it, and you think that people in Oakland County deserve this, and that majority of them were for it, why are you not advertising on them, but demonizing me in negative advertising? They're wrong.
Well, I appreciate it. The truth is that the new health care reform legislation requires new insurance plans as of September 23rd, 2010, to cover mammograms without cost sharing for women beginning at age 40. You would know that if you actually read the bill. It covers that. So stop putting out misinformation about this bill. It's going to be more competitive to allow costs to come down, to make sure that everybody has affordable access, and also change the way we pay for health care so we start rewarding quality and not quantity. In Michigan, since 2000, healthcare premiums have gone up 17 times faster than wages. It's unsustainable Small businesses were dropping health care coverage. Small businesses already pay 20 to 30, sometimes 40% more in premiums for health care for their employees than a large employer. If you work for one of those small companies, your deductibles tend to be much higher than if you work for a large company. This is a problem that wasn't going away. It was getting worse. I know folks think we should do nothing, and Mr. Raczkowski is part of the bury your head in the sand and maybe it'll go away, but that is not how you deal with the issue.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Okay. Okay, Mr. Campbell, I will give you the last word, and then we really are moving on.
I didn't enter national politics with the idea that everybody would be nice to me. A certain amount of hissing and shouting is just par for the course. American politics is a contact sport, and if I weren't okay with that, I would be a librarian or a kindergarten teacher. But as you listen to all this nastiness from the Democratic and Republican candidates and their parties and their advertising on TV, I'd like you to consider one thing. They're both right.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. While we are on the topic of nastiness, we have quite a few cards from the audience who apparently have been watching television. For that, I thank you very much. Thank you. My mother appreciates you keeping me employed. What we're getting from the audience over and over again goes something like this. And Mr. Campbell and Dr. Kofi, if you do not want to weigh in on this, you don't have to, but of course you have that option. Please respond to the negative campaign ads. Do you think your opponent is being fair? Well, it's a toss-up.
We want the first negative ad, so let him go first.
No, this is tough.
Alphabetical. Leadership means going first. Let's go.
All right, Mr. Raczkowski, what do you think?
No, I do not. No, I do not. And I do reserve the right to...
Oh, it's the last question?
Oh, goody, the nasty ads are the last question. Which means we have limited time and they can't go on endlessly. Okay, you're up.
Sure. Mr. Peters has 2 nasty ads plus a door-to-door piece that scares the bejeebers. My mom actually cried to me one day when she saw the first ad. She said, yes, absolutely. For those mothers that are in the audience, I feel your pain, because I had to tell her that I'm still good enough to be invited over for Thanksgiving dinner. You know, even the flyers that I see that I want to bankrupt Social Security, I want to send jobs to China, I want to increase sales tax by 23%. I'm this bad thief and crook. Folks, they're all lies, and that's why I filed a defamation lawsuit against Mr. Peters and the chairman of the Democratic Party. And Mr. Peters can say that they're all true, but they are not. They're blatant lies. He can bend the truth and try to spray it any way he wants to, and that's because he spent more millions of dollars on demonizing me as an individual. Now he's demonizing me in the Jewish community of metropolitan Detroit by trying to pretend that I'm anti-Israel on issues. Folks, I built my whole life building my character and my integrity, and I've built my whole life defending our values, our combined values. I will not allow a politician...
What I have found is that when people have a hard time arguing facts, they engage in name-calling. So that's what we've seen here, is name-calling by my opponent. The ad regarding the lawsuit, which is that Mr. Raczkowski filed a defamation suit that he says he won't drop, he won't have to worry about that because it's going to be thrown out of court as a frivolous lawsuit, so he won't have to take any action on that. The ad is an accurate portrayal of a federal lawsuit that is pending before my Republican opponent. In fact, there is a group called this is, if you don't believe me, it's just the he said, he said type of thing, the Michigan Truth Squad, which is an organization that evaluates ads. It's out of the Center for Michigan. They are very tough on ads. I mean, they look for ads to try to find out who's stretching the truth, who's got facts, and who doesn't. They reviewed this ad, and they said it is no foul. And let me read what no foul means. Not every tough ad is a foul.